this is me suffering. Are you suffering? Because, look, I get it. We have been taught that if we want to create, if we want to be successful, if we want to have love, that we've got to suffer. That we have to be in such a dire strait of martyred energy and horrible pain and destitution that we finally rise up to some cosmic level that says we deserve to succeed. And when this happens, when we are in the dire straits, what happens is that we just get used to dire straits. We just learn to suffer more. Jesse Elder says, and I'm totally gonna, of course, you know I butcher every single quote I share, but he says that suffering only teaches you how to suffer better, right? Like you just get better at suffering. That's all it is. So when we are, this comes from ancestral stuff, right? And I'm hot, I'm sweaty, it's early. I got on here early for you guys, and I'm still sweating. It's ridiculous. I digress. So, look, if you've been doing this thing a while, if you've been branding and working on your mission and showing up, and you've been doing the work in the sense that you've hired the mentors, you've done all of the mindset work, you've done the programs, you've done the coaching, you've done the certifications, you've traveled to events, you've been in the shit, and things are still seeming like you've got maybe really amazing success in some levels, but other areas of your life are not so great, right? Like your business is going amazing, except your sex life is horrible. Or your love life is amazing, and then every time you look at your business, you just want to cry, right? Or you're still working 8 million jobs, all these gigs, running around town, running around the globe, and what you really want to be doing is actually teaching and holding retreats and getting on stages or writing your books or whatever it is. I want you to look at the idea of letting go of some of the suffering. Okay, I'm really freaking hot, so we're gonna take this on a walk. We're gonna take this on a walk into some shade, okay? Because look at my freaking face. Because I'm hot, dude. I'm hot. All right, can I? Oh God, no. There, it's kind of that's kind of okay. The sun. I'm like a vampire right now. All right, it's kind of dark, but we'll see if we can get you lighter. So, I want you to look at where this idea of needing to suffer for your art, to suffer for your success, to suffer for love, to suffer for your health, to suffer for wealth, to suffer for your connection with God, right? Where does this idea come from? It's rooted, it is so deeply rooted in our DNA, our the epigenetics of it all, right? Like that we have, there's a belief system, right, that comes in, and then that creates the reality loop in our body, which means that we keep seeking out more instances that prove the belief system that we already have, make us feel the way that we've always felt, and we just continuously create a reality loop of suffering, which means that we can only allow ourselves to expand so much. We can only have so much joy. We can only hold so much joy and pleasure in our bodies before we freak out, right? Before our system goes into shutdown and we start to create some kind of situation that makes us suffer again, okay? Now I want you to really look at if I chose to not suffer so much, what would that look like, right? How would that feel? What would that be like in my body, in my life? How would my art change? How would my message change? Imagine if you suffered less, if you allowed yourself the grace to suffer less, to actually just flow, to be so embodied and so turned on in the way that you create and the way that you live, that was what infused your art, that was what infused your love, that was what infused your message, that was what infused your life. This is a new way of living. I want you to look at that. I want you to really feel into that. Get out that journal and start to write it down. What would it be like if I let myself suffer less so that I could create more and experience more, so that I could love more deeply, more potently, so that I could hold more God in my body, so that I could hold more creativity in my system, so that I wouldn't have a systemic shutdown and energetic freak out every time things got too good. What would that be like? Write it out. What fears pop up? What doubts pop up? Oh, I don't deserve it. My ancestors suffered so much. So how can I dare to have this much grace and this much ease in my life, in the way that I create, in the way that I love, in the way that I succeed? Write it all out, right? Because until we get clear on it, we can't clear it. We've got to get clear on it in order to clear it, okay? So when you notice that the suffering seems like the everyday way of life, it's time to shift. So if you're ready for that shift, then start to get clear and start to feel this into your body. I know you're like, oh my God, but I need help. Then join Sex Magic Woman and I'll help you. Let's get real. I can only help you so much in these videos. But if you're willing to do the work, yes, of course we can do this on our own. It just means we just go faster when we have a mentor. But if you're willing to do the work, then do the work. Get started. And get started by, obviously, busting out that journal and start to write out, okay, so here's what I think might happen. Because the lizard brain is going to tell you that you're going to die. You're going to die if you suffer less. Suffering is what got you so far. It's what got you here. So you want to keep suffering, girl. Keep that suffering going. It's working for you, right? It's a good look. Except it's not. It's not a good look. Stop the suffering. Stop the suffering. Hashtag stop the suffering, okay? So, yeah, I love you. Let's hang out some more. Come hang out, sexmagicwoman.com. And if you're not quite ready to do the damn thing with me, then I want you to go click below and you'll see nikacarly.com/wildtribe. That is where you can get all my free goodies, the way that we can connect and go deeper without going all the way in, right? So if you kind of want to like dip in your little toesies, then just click that other link below. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me in the dark, because it's hot. It's really freaking hot, and I would say that I'm really over it, except that it's June, and that would sound like suffering. So, all right, bye, wild ones.